Neptune is associated with the elusive world of imagination, fantasy, dreams, drugs, hallucination, psychic experience, and mystical or otherworldly phenomena. Spirituality, compassion, and empathy are also regularly associated with this planet. People with a strong urge to help the suffering and downtrodden tend to be under the influence of Neptune. Yet, it is also apparently Neptune that leads to degrading situations, moral weakness, addiction, disillusionment, deception, and confusion to begin with. Neptune is as apt to be the victim as the savior. The mythological Neptune was the god of the ocean, and the watery association with emotional impressionability seems appropriate and consistent with its effects. Sometimes Neptune seems to literally draw people to the ocean or other bodies of water, apparently to somehow get in touch with inner feelings or the soul. Artists and inspired devotional type mystics are frequently strongly influenced by Neptune. But the world of Neptune can be beguiling and disappointing. Glamorous illusions can be convincingly real under Neptune's spell, but reality can't be evaded indefinitely, and Neptunian delusions and denial will eventually be forced into a confrontation with hard reality. Neptunian euphoria is fragile. Neptune produces sensitivity and vulnerability on various levels. And physiologically, this can manifest as allergies or hypersensitive reactions to foods and medicine. Neptune, in vague, unfocused, and indiscriminate ways, can cause energy to leak or be dissipated in a careless manner, eventually leading to a sense of loss, fatigue, exhaustion, disorientation, or victimization. Modern Western astrologers consider Neptune to be the ruler of the sign Pisces, with Jupiter the traditional ruler. And there are certainly some similarities between Neptune, the sign Pisces, and the 12th house. A strong and positively expressed Neptune will contribute to sensitivity and compassion for others, making some Neptunian types caregivers, like nurses. The person will have a rich and vivid imagination and may be an artist or photographer. There may be psychic experiences or prophetic dreams, and the person will have easy access to mystical perceptions and spiritual dimensions of reality. Having such a full and direct experience of spiritual worlds tends to make a person less worldly and materialistic, less self-assertive, and more willing to make sacrifices for others. When Neptune is prominent but poorly handled, there may be weakness in the body and/or character. The person may be vague about their objectives and their true feelings and intentions, and may either unintentionally confuse others, or in extreme cases will be deliberately and intentionally deceptive and cunning. This deceptive streak is often due to a sense of impotence that makes the person feel incapable of asserting themselves in a direct and open manner. Addictions, distorted perception, and overwhelming emotional sensitivity are common negative manifestations of a strong but misdirected Neptune influence. There may also be an indiscriminate, if well-intentioned, tendency to try to save others in a way that leads to a mere squandering of energy and resources, and/or a tendency to rely on others too dependently. Rational discernment is not, by any stretch of the imagination, a Neptunian attribute. Neptune takes about 150 years to pass through all 12 signs of the zodiac. If a person has Neptune in the first house of the chart, it is often the signature of an artist, a mystic, or someone addicted to drugs. Sometimes the three are rolled into one. Somewhat like Moon in the first house, Neptune here enhances imagination and emotional impressionability. Though with this prominent Neptunian influence, there is a far greater danger of being led astray or contaminated through one's sponge-like receptivity to external psychic influence. The person with Neptune in the first house typically has poorly defined and very permeable boundaries, which can make it difficult for them to say no, or to differentiate between their own thoughts and feelings and those of others. On a physiological level, this may manifest as fragile immunity, possibly manifesting as allergies and regular bodily infections. When the physical and psychological constitution that Neptune in the first house gives is well handled, it may manifest as genuine psychic ability and true spiritual or artistic inspiration. Such a strong Neptune will often enhance one's capacity for empathy. And while the desire to help others, which can result from this empathy, is potentially a virtue, Neptunian types often lack the practicality and firmness required to be of assistance to other victims. The tendency to eventually be disappointed in those who have been helped points to the possibility that the motive was not quite unconditional love and kindness. Neptunian types should carefully scrutinize their motives before engaging in saving others, or in relinquishing their own responsibility to an external savior. Pragmatic, down-to-earth practicality of a somewhat saturnine type, without the gravity, tends to be good medicine for those overdosing on Neptune's dream world. A balanced involvement in artistic and spiritual activities is natural and wholesome for people with Neptune in the first house. They need soulful activities in their lives to be fulfilled and whole. They simply need to keep at least one foot on the ground.